How do you keep your mind from fighting your brain? Right? It's a frustration. It's a frustration that many of us have. And actually, hold on just 1 second. I'm gonna turn this on here so that everybody can be joining us live. Hey, so how do you keep your mind from fighting your brain? The frustration is real, right? Those little, that mind chatter that runs in our brain. We're going to be talking about that today, and it's real, and it's a real frustration that can impact our day, our family dynamics, even in business, and as we're interacting with patients or with clients. It's a real struggle. But today, I'm going to be sharing with you some ways that you can get a handle on that. Because, right, there's this battle going on inside your head and you can't seem to get it under control. It feels like even that it's doing some damage up there. It could be long term. But did you know that your mind and your brain are two totally different things? And you can help the two get along and stop that brain damage with something called metacognition. I'm going to show you how today. Yes. Now, I want to know, how does it make you feel when I tell you that you are not the victim of your emotions, that you can control your reactions, that you have a choice? How does that make you feel? How does that sit with you inside? If you're watching after the live is over, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you leave your questions, your comments. I'll be back to answer those. Give me some hearts, give me some love. It helps us to engage here as a community. Welcome to those of you who are joining us on Instagram. If you are joining us over here, you are in the cheap seats. So you are going to want to join us over on our Facebook page at 3 Life Essentials so that you can grab all of the goodies that we're going to be sharing today. I'm going to be sharing some things with you there that you will not be able to get on Instagram. So come on and join us over there. Today, we are going to be free. Yes, this is Free Friday. So we're going to be free from bad reactions. We're going to be free from impulses. We're going to be free to thrive. Yes. Yes, that's what I want to hear too. Okay, I'm going to pull this up here so you guys can see this. Okay, there we go. Yes. So this is Free Friday. And if, and actually, before we go any further, I have a gift for all of you on Facebook here. If you would like to access our show notes for today's Free Friday, just give me the word "win the battle," all one word, "win the battle" below, and I'll make sure you get them. Plus, I'm going to be giving you a bonus gift of my Mindfulness and Essential Oils for Children PDF. You're going to love that because it's going to tie in exactly with some of the things that we're talking about today, but you can expand that knowledge into sharing that with your children. So, yes, and if you know somebody who is struggling with some of this mental battle here that's going on in the world today, go ahead and sprinkle this to them. Don't keep this information to yourself. I actually have a bonus gift for those of you who choose to do that. So if this topic resonates with you, hit those buttons, give me some love, and let me know how you feel about that. I bet you have a few friends in therapy practice who could benefit from this. If you want to take a moment to tell them about that, you can go ahead and do that. My name is Amy Miller. I am a wellness advocate and a business coach that helps fellow SLPs and therapists in private practice make a bigger impact in the lives of their patients and set their business apart from all the others, and provide patients with solutions that address issues rather than just putting Band-Aids on problems. And we do this using our signature SPARK method via our growth mindset coaching. And this is Free Friday. This is our weekly series on Fridays to experience life more fully, more abundantly. Bonus if we can do this naturally. right? So if you think that this would be a big deal for somebody to show you how to take a step back and observe your own thoughts and then decide which ones to keep and which ones to change and which ones to get rid of, give me a heck yes below because I want to know if this is resonating with you. Yes, and I'm going to take a drink of my water. Actually, what's in your water today? I'm adding a little turmeric into my water today. This is something I've been needing as of late. So normally I add it into my tea. But sometimes if I don't have tea, if it's a little too warm for tea, I have put it in my water. So we love to learn out loud here on Free Friday. So when we learn out loud on the broadcast, we use the hashtag Free Friday and we explain whatever is freeing your mind or whatever your aha moment is. So throughout the live today, even if you're watching on the replay, anytime you hear something that's really valuable to you, a new idea or a nugget that you want to hold on to, I want you to type in hashtag Free Friday and then share that tip that you're going to implement in your own life. Okay. So I know what you're saying inside, you know, those fear statements that and questions that creep in, like you can't take the risk, right? Those fear statements. Or what if my kids get it when I send them back to school? Or what will people think if I ... fill in the blank, right? Or even the shame statements or the questions that sabotage, like you have no business doing this, or you aren't even qualified to do this, or will I ever be worthy of good things? Or even some of the hopeless despair statements, like, is this really going to be normal? Or if not it's not if, but when, blah, fill in the blank. Or when will it be my turn? But today I want to tell you, if you're ready, are you ready? Because we're going to step out of this mind-brain battle and examine yourself and even change your emotional state so that your family, your patients, your clients, and even your brain can thank you. So yes, if you're ready, just type in ready and we're going to dive in here. So yes, yes. Yeah, again, now if you're joining us on Instagram, welcome to you, but you are in the cheap seat, so come join us over on 3 Life Essentials on our Facebook so you can grab all of the goodies here. And so I'm going to give you a dose of good news, bad news for a minute, okay? Actually, I'm going to bring you a serious dose of good news, bad news. But as you get to know the truth about your mind and how it works, the truth will set you free. So let me take a drink here. Every decision that you make has mental real estate. The circuits in your brain where decisions are made are actually physical. So we're going to do some brain science stuff here for a minute. This is the part of the brain that extends from the forebrain to the frontal lobe. And one of the magical powers of the frontal lobe is that allows you to stand outside of yourself and examine your thoughts and then make decisions about them. Yes, you heard me right. You have the unique ability to stand outside of your own self and examine what you're doing, how you're feeling, and then decide what to do about it, even down to your thoughts and emotions moving forward. So let's talk about a little quick example here. So let's say it's the end of a long day. You're getting dinner ready, and one of the kids starts to annoy their sibling, right? Again, for the 14th time. And you already know how this is going to end, right? With lots of yelling, but you're up to elbows in the food and you can't really break away right that second. Less than a minute later, one of the kids comes screaming into the kitchen and with their sibling like hot on their heels, and you can feel the temperature in the room move like just above boiling, and you turn to face your kids. Right? Now, stop. If you've been there before, let me hear you say, like, been there. Just tell me below, been there, so I know that we're on the same page here. Before we do anything rash, I want you to look at yourself, but do it like you're a neutral outside observer. So think about like what's going on in your brain, what words you're about to say, how you're going to say them. Now decide if that's what you would want. Now, if that's what you would want blank person to see, like insert the name of an important person here, maybe like a pastor, maybe a famous person that you like, or a mentor in your life. So decide if that's what you would want blank person to see. Okay. Now, this is the moment of truth. This is the point of action where you've got the ability to choose the outcome. And that's the great news part. When I said I'm going to give you a serious dose of good news, bad news, what this means is that you can truly decide how to respond to the situation, no matter what the situation is. And in other words, you can choose to take your thoughts captive before they captivate you. You can choose to take those cares and cast them, even, dare I say, even at the feet of Jesus. You may not be somebody who considers himself religious or spiritual, but you can cast them at the feet of Jesus before you speak. And finally, you can choose to be angry, but not sin. What you do with your thoughts is actually a choice. So if you're really thinking through this, this is also really bad news, right? Because this also means that every bad decision you've ever made has been your fault. Every word you've spoken in anger, every time you've said something hurtful, every time you've chosen to maybe act in a way that isn't loving, you alone were responsible. But this also means that you can fix it. So now, if you're sitting here thinking that you'd love a resource for how to fix it, let me know. Reach out to me. Okay, so before we go through these, I want you to remember that your mind and your brain are two separate entities, and that your mind can literally create matter in your brain. Now, we're going to look at a 5 simple step process going to help you rewrite your thoughts. I want you to think back to some of those thoughts that I talked about in the beginning, some of the fear statements and the fear questions that go on in your mind right now, or maybe some of the shame statements and questions that are going on, or maybe these hopeless despair questions and statements that have been going on. And step 1, we're going to gather, okay? So I want you to you're going to spend some time praying and thinking about what thought you want to change. Maybe you feel like there's a host of them, but I want you to pick just one, okay? Then the second step is you're going to go to focused reflection. I want you to think about the thought. How does it make you feel? Maybe what triggers it? Maybe how would you like to respond? But focus on the initial gathered thought. And I want you to spend some time controlling your response to it, okay? Now, this is where you're going to move to number 3, step 3, and that's writing. Yes. Heck yes. Yes, you've been there too. Right. Okay, so you're going to move to writing. Now, as you write things out, your brain processes the thoughts and emotions. So you may not be somebody who loves to write. I personally don't love to write, but it will help your brain process the thoughts and emotions. And this also will help to solidify the new response to the initial thought. Okay. Okay, so you ready for 4? Step 4 is going to be revisit. So you're going to revisit, now that you've thought through the thought and the emotion, it's time to revisit the new response. In other words, you're reevaluating where you've come from and where you're going. And then the 5th step is active reach. Now, active reach is where you're going to, through the course of the day, you're going to mentally practice successfully navigating that new emotion. Now, this could be by saying an affirmation or imagining the situation happening with a positive result. This is something actually professional athletes do many times. It's you practicing the event with the desired outcome. Now, each of these steps is simple enough. And now what you're going to do is repeat all 5 of those daily for 21 days. Yes. We have some further tools that we share with some of our coaching clients that kind of help make this process a little bit more, give you more accountability and allow you to kind of take this further. But what is a toxic thought that you can see yourself tackling? I want to hear, are some of them the ones that I mentioned earlier? Are those the ones resonate with you, or is there another one? But I want to hear from you below what that is. And today I want you to think of an area of your life that you want to see changed. And I want you to write down the day you're going to start that process of changing it. Bonus points if you type it in below. Remember what they say, a goal is just a wish that you write down and put a deadline on. Okay, so you can do this. You totally can do this. Now, if you want information about our upcoming, our brand new strengths workshop, when you actually, you can just share with me below, type in the word strengths, and I will share with you that information of how to get that. Obviously, if you are already sharing with us about the show notes, you'll get the information about the strengths workshop as well. If you want a reminder when we go live again next week, just type in the comments, remind me or reminder, and I'll make sure you get a reminder next week. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'm going to be back next week with some really cool tools to kind of further expand this. Okay. Thank you guys. Bye, everybody.